go.
James, from our perspective, it's a very brave effort given you lost England next year. How do you assess it?
Yeah, I think with the rotation in football now and the sub rule, it obviously when you lose one guy early hurts you, and you lose two, you're behind the eight ball. And we thought it was a brave way to play football. We're still disappointed we lost. I think the second quarter we didn't play as well as we could have played, and I don't think the sub affects you in the second quarter. So it's disappointing from that perspective. But after half time, to hang in the game and just ground out a draw, I think shows the character of the players that we've got. The players have been known as a team that's very flashy and very offensive. But I think today takes a step towards really being a real footy club that grinds out results, even though it wasn't a win for us.
I think they went to the Shells in the second quarter and thought it was all going to get a bit hard with the two on the bench. Did you have to give them a jerk against those guys?
Yeah, I don't know where they went in their shells, but they certainly, Carlton got on top of us in the contested ball, which was where the game was going to be won. I mean, they were number one in clearances coming into this game, Carlton. They've got some really quality midfielders, and we were winning that very early in the game in the first quarter, but you're right, in the second quarter, whether we went into our shells or they just got better, the result was that they won the clearances. And both sides are pretty good offensively. Like, once the ball gets out, they've got some good players that hurt you, and so have we. So if you control that area of the game against Carlton, you do well. If you don't, they expose us, and that's what they did.
Just following on from that, did you have a sense, or did you have to half-time, 3 times just say, look, there are no excuses here for you guys, it is a big test for the character? Did you have to put it on?
Yeah, a little bit. We just asked them what sort of footy club they wanted to be part of, and did they want to be part of one which turns it up when things get hard, or they want to be part of a footy club that fights out some sort of result. Now, we all wanted to win, we didn't get that, but we didn't lose either. So it's that old draw feeling. How do you feel? You feel happy, then you feel sad, then you don't know how to feel. But pretty proud of the effort we put in. We made mistakes and we didn't do some things that we wanted to do, but proud of the effort, which that's certainly halfway to winning.
And just on that, do you get a sense that this might have been a bit of a landmark day? You talk about your after constant improvement, and we know it's only round 4, but do you get a sense that sort of this because they keep hanging there, that it could be pretty important?
It's a landmark day for a couple of reasons. When you get 2 cruciates in 10 minutes, that's a landmark day. I've never seen that happen in footy, so that's disappointing for us. But the way they fought it out, they've shown that through the pre-season they can do it, but showing it in a real game was great.
So these ACLs are
Look, until we scan them, we're not absolutely sure, but there's some pretty experienced doctors in there who think that's what they are, so I'd take it that that's probably what's happened.
You were dominating early. Can you just get a sense of what went through your mind when, Winderley was terrible, but then you see Dempsey getting carried off as well?
Yeah, you can't really think about it too much. The first reaction is just you can't believe what's happened, that you've got 2 cruciate ligaments and 2 guys down for a game so early, and then you just got to put it out of your mind. And I think right now you feel for your players, because they're 2 guys that had great pre-seasons and had really good starts to the year, and that's the immediate thought, is that they're guys that not going to play for us this year, and it's disappointing for the club, but for them as individuals it's very disappointing. So think about it more more team over the next few days, and probably reality will hit that we've lost 2 of our best runners for the season.
James, so just a word on Dustin Fletcher, that happened here, maybe to some of us at the point, just that ball game, Garlic got through.
To all of us, I think. Well, I think I said last week he's a star. This week I haven't seen Dustin probably play better. He might have played better, but to hold the backline together, I thought our backline was very good with the amount of entries that were coming in and the way the ball was coming in. Our whole backline played well and led by Dustin. And at 35, he's only getting better, and he's just putting it all out there, and whatever happens for him. And he is an absolute star and champion of the game. And people who talk about him previously about not playing on the best forwards, well, he had roles today on their best forwards. He had roles on the small players. He played all over the ground. He kept cutting off contests. He kept setting up the ground for us, setting up the attack for us. There's nothing more he could have done. I mean, he did everything possible to win us the game, and it was a great effort by Dustin. Is that enough, Jack? It's enough, okay.
Is Nick much coaching anymore, Dustin? Or is it just like a wink of an eye, you know what to do it? I mean,
We certainly coach, how he fits into our structure, Fletch, but he gives us a fair bit of feedback too about what's happening out in the ground, which is a great thing. He and Sean Wellman have got a great relationship, Sean being our defensive coach. So he and Sean get on very well, and having played alongside each other. So that sort of coaching part of it is good for Dustin. But I don't think even Sheed's taught Dustin how to play. He's a lot of natural instinct in the way he does it, the way he positions his body.
Is that the longest day at the office for you so far, Joe?
Yeah, hardest, that's for sure. It's definitely the hardest when as I said, you get two guys out for the rest of the game, 10 minutes into a game or 15 minutes in. You do have to get quite creative in what you're doing, and the way you move your rotations around, the way you rest your players, because the way football's played now with those rotations, you can't leave guys out in the ground for more than 10 or 12 minutes in the midfield, or they just blow up. And with 10 minutes to go, we were screaming, get this guy off, get that guy off, but there was no one fresh to come back on. So certainly, don't want to make headlines, but I'd love to have 5 on the interchange bench for days like today. Give us a couple more subs for days like today, because if the game's decided by 2 ACLs, probably not fair, but that doesn't happen very often.
Probably one you captain right around there, the whole thing of the substitute.
What's that?
I said there's probably one you captain right around to the whole concept of the substitute, isn't it? You don't get much time to think about things before you've got a pretty important round 5 game.
Yeah, we're lucky we got an 8-day break, which is good. We've got a lot of very sore players in there who I wouldn't like to be off a 6-day break like we were this week. And that's the other thing today, it's pleasing. Lost 2 players, 6-day break against a good team. There's a lot of positives to come out of it. But now we're up against the best team in the competition in 8 days' time. So we'll get ourselves fit again, and then we'll start coaching very early in the week.
So the Carlton Collingwood period last year towards the end of the season were 2 really low weeks for the club. So I guess these 2 weeks now are really important, aren't you, to show that this is new Essendon. Part of what we spoke about with big players before during the game, that it's time to really show something that everyone's going to be watching.
Yeah, I suppose the good thing about having such a big supporter base and playing at Carlton with a big supporter base is that you get plenty of attention, plenty of people come to watch. So when you perform well, there's positives. When you don't perform well, everyone sees it as well. I don't think we've put too much emphasis on Carlton and Collingwood having to win those over other games, because in reality last week's game was 4 points, this week's 4 points. But in terms of everyone seeing you and being out in public, yeah, you're right. It's you're front and centre, and everyone knows whether you play well or you don't.
You lose a lot of legs there with Dempsey and Winderley. Immediate thoughts on who comes in for those guys?
We've got plenty of leg speed in the reserves in Reamers and Collier and Owen Davey playing in the reserves. We've also got David Hill, who we're very hopefully gets through tomorrow in the reserves. So we have got Henry Slattery as well down back. So we've got plenty of cover, but Dempsey and Winderley are pretty special players with the ball in their hand, and Courtney was just looking like the season was his, and he'd evolved as a player, and he was taking the game on, and he was doing it right and making great decisions. And Licker was playing a really selfless role for us up forward. So those guys are in good form, and it's disappointing for them, I think, the main feeling. Thanks, guys.